Now, a man who's been brave enough this year to be there, Tarpley's also was there just a few months ago under bombardment, is Wayne Madsen of WayneMadsenReport.com, and he joins us to give us his first look analysis of this Gaddafi situation. I haven't gotten your view yet, Wayne. You just heard my first look analysis. What's your take as a former NSA analyst, Navy submarine warfare expert, top journalist reporting for some of the biggest publications in the world on Capitol Hill? As somebody that tracks what these disinfo people do, what's your gut level first look analysis, Wayne Madsen?
Well, I also agree with you, Alex. I think although it's too soon to tell, and because we've been inundated with all this disinformation before, curveballs, yellow cake uranium, all these other fakes, the riots in Syria that were actually riots in Bahrain, the fact that Al Jazeera was the first to report this, we know about their ties to the government of Qatar and what they've done with the CIA in the past. My gut feeling says he's dead, but I also would point out initial reports were that he was shot in the legs. There was one photo I saw clearly of a head wound. It could be that he did try to maybe surrender. Maybe they executed him. It doesn't say a whole lot for Obama's law of the jungle foreign policy, because that's what it is. It's no different than Bush's when we killed Saddam Hussein's two sons, and in a very macabre scene, we saw them laid out on some slabs. Later, we saw the photo purportedly of Saddam Hussein after he was executed. He still maintained he was president of Iraq. Gaddafi still maintained that he was the leader of Libya. I would say that, as with Saddam Hussein, the situation with Gaddafi, President Obama has violated Executive Order 12333, which was initiated by President Ford, signed off by Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, and even the first President Bush, George H.W. Bush. He's violated that. He has assisted in the assassination of a foreign head of state, and Mr. Obama should be basically indicted by the House Judiciary Committee. That's called impeachment. He should go before the Senate, and he should be tried.
Well, they sell these great evils in the name of, well, we did this to somebody who's unpopular, but that's how Hitler started what he did, and every other tyrant has led nations into total tyranny down this primrose path. But again, knowing Gaddafi saying he was going to stay and fight to the end, getting his family out, following that line of reasoning, he probably fought to the death. They're just claiming he tried to surrender in the first reports so that they don't make him look like even more of a John Wayne type martyr to the people there. But I think undoubtedly now this is going to make him a martyr, whether it's true or not. My gut tells me it is, with these thousands of data points coming in.
Right. And we had that other situation initially. The rebel movement, the new government of Libya, said that they were going to take his body to a secret location because they didn't want a shrine, they didn't want a memorial where his followers would flock to that. Again, here we have the same situation with bin Laden. What are they going to do? Dispose of the body somewhere? We'll never know where it is. We'll never have any kind of independent means to verify that, in fact, he was killed and how he was killed. I mean, this is done in any murder situation in this country. There are autopsies done. There are medical examiners that issue a report. We don't have that situation probably in this case, and that's going to just open up more, and I hate to say the word conspiracy theories, because the government allows itself to be charged with these conspiracy theories because they are not forthcoming with the truth.
Well, that's another good point. I'm glad you raised that, and that just adds to the suspicion that it could be staged, or they killed him in Uganda or something, where we know special forces were seen just last week. Gaddafi body being taken to secret location, Reuters reports. Still, Western media has not confirmed any of this. They're just going off what the famously unreliable al-Qaeda people are saying. The body of deposed Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi is being taken to a location which is being kept secret for security reasons. A National Transnational Council official said today Gaddafi died of wounds suffered Thursday as fighters battling to complete an 8-month-old uprising against the rule overran his hometown of Sirte. Libya's interim ruler said Gaddafi's body is with our own unit in a car. We were taking the body to a secret place for security reasons. Mohammed Abdel Kafi, an NTC official al-Qaeda person, said in the city of Misrata, told Reuters, you've been to Libya repeatedly. You've seen the breakdown here. I mean, even if they really did kill him, which I'm leaning towards, then just letting his body disappear, or this made-up burial at sea, sleeps with the fishes, that way they can never really charge anybody or say who really killed him, and then basically not have war crimes be brought up here.
Well, exactly, and it also gets people like Obama and David Cameron and Nicolas Sarkozy off the hook as far as state-sponsored assassinations, which is still illegal in this country, and it has been since the 1970s when the executive order was instituted because of the CIA's rolling assassination of Chilean President Salvador Allende and President Trujillo of the Dominican Republic and President Diem of South Vietnam and others. That's why the law was instituted. And I say that the Congress now has to, whether you like Gaddafi or not, most people, he's not, he wasn't an endearing figure. The other thing I want to point out, when Mr. Obama was in South Chicago in the 1980s, spying on the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers and the Al-Rukin gang, one of the things he was looking at was those movements, those black social movements getting support from Gaddafi. I would also suggest that this was a vendetta by Obama that goes back to when he was working for the CIA in Chicago in the 1980s, and he has his fingerprints all over the death of Gaddafi. I believe he ordered it. I believe he was settling old scores, and this is exactly what the executive order was, one of the things that was supposed to prevent people like Nixon settling scores with people he didn't like overseas and LBJ.
Or domestic. I mean, now they're saying they'll kill U.S. citizens, no judge, no jury, anytime they want, including in America. We have Reuters reporting and UPI 5 years ago when Israel said, we'll kill U.S. citizens inside the U.S., and our own government said, come on in. So now I guess U.S. citizens are basically, according to the globalists, the lowest form of filth.
Right, and the one thing I would point out, Obama's sending troops to Uganda. It's quite clear that Sudan, what remains of that country, is next on the target list. Omar Bashir, the president of that country, he's got an international criminal court warrant against him. I mean, who's next? Who's next? Whether these guys are elected or not, they are the heads of state. It's illegal for U.S. presidents to involve themselves in their assassination. So I say start with this Gaddafi death. U.S. supported this military operation. Yeah. Obama lied. He said it wasn't regime change. Of course it was regime change. We saw that today with Gaddafi's supposed body. And what more proof does one need? I would hope that we stop this with the presidency. Bush and now Obama hold these people accountable. They're violating U.S. law. They need to be held accountable. Obama needs to be impeached. Bush is out of office. We can't do it to him, but we can stop Obama in his tracks.
Wayne, let's expand on this. Clearly, the UN, NATO, global corporate axis is making its move. It's imploding Europe, setting up a financial dictatorship, admitting no sovereignty to the countries, irrevocably transferred. I mean, that is total domination. That is total occupation. That is just the equivalent of Hitler rolling into France. I mean, it's on. Or the Soviets rolling into the Czechoslovakia. All of this happening, you've got global Ponzi operations being imploded in other parts of the world, not just in Europe. You've got it coming to a head here in the United States. You've got Soros clearly trying to energize and take over the Occupy Wall Street. You've got this new UN model of having rebels try to overthrow a government, then Western powers come in and back them up, engage in huge war crimes and call it peace. Why is the Western establishment moving on every front right now? Is it out of strength or out of an attempt to globally intimidate the world?
Well, they see they're on their last legs. They see what's happening to their economies. They see that the BRIC countries, that Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and Turkey, and others, their economies are doing much better. These are the rising world powers. We already have Putin, the next president of Russia, the once and future president of Russia, talking about a new Eurasian economic union to rival the collapsing European Union. You know what this is? These are the final death throes of a dying empire. The U.S. and its extended empire around the world and all of its vassal states, England, France, Germany, and others, they're collapsing. And this is what we see with empires. They do these Hail Mary passes thinking they're going to survive when, in fact, they know they're going down. And you know, Obama's sending troops to Uganda to defeat the Lord's Resistance Army of Joseph Kony, who's basically out of the picture. He has been for some years. This is a 25-year-old rebellion against our dictator in Uganda, Museveni, and all of a sudden he decides to send troops. This is all about oil. This is about denying Uganda's oil to the Chinese and use it as a launching pad to go after what remains of the country of Sudan. So that's what we've got going on here. This is a power play, but these empires are collapsing. The U.S. has no influence left in Latin America, for example. The Monroe Doctrine is finished, and we're seeing a lot of other doctrines go down the tubes, including Obama's. I think Obama's doctrine of backing these rebel movements and what's called R2P, responsibility to protect, this nonsense that came out of Samantha Power.
Stay there, stay there. Let's come back and break that down and look at Occupy Wall Street as well. Wayne Madsen's our guest. Stay with us. If you believe in this information and want to support its viral spread, go to the InfoWars store at InfoWars.com. We've got the new G.I. Joe InfoWars t-shirts. We've got the incredible Pro Pure gravity-fed filters available at InfoWars.com in the store. We've got a new DVD, Scientists Under Attack, the Don't Tread on Me flag. We've got all sorts of different bumper stickers to help spread the rebellion virally. It's all there, wristbands, citizen rule books in every order. Order online at Infowars.com today. The water filters, the canteens, it's all there. Infowars.com.